Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Jamin's Daily. We're going to get back to one of my favorite topics, which is ancient aliens and ancient alien theory. And I, I did, I've done a couple of episodes on ancient alien theory. They've, every time I do one of these episodes, it gets copyrighted. It's been very difficult. Still trying to figure it out. I do have this real cool, can use this fair use. Maybe that will help me out on some of these things. But in the meantime, as I was researching for some of these ancient alien theory episodes, I came across something that just had not crossed my mind. But it probably should have nowadays in 2022, because in 2022, everything in some way is accused of being racist. And ancient alien theory is no different. According to Stephanie Helmhofer, ancient alien theory is racist. Did aliens build the pyramids and other racist theories? Pseudo archaeology, conspiracy theories that ancient civilizations were founded by aliens or the denizens of Atlantis are more than just silly, they're dangerous. I always find it hilarious when they bring in a level of danger because I don't see the danger. Like if she, we're gonna tackle this article in many ways, in a number of ways, so many different ways, guys, where it's just gonna tear it apart, and it just seems strange because it's obvious. And this lady, I looked her up a little bit, and she's well educated, has doctorate degrees and things like that. So I'm sure, I think this is like her thesis. She's talking about how this is like a big. Let's just look into it. It says one afternoon in June, I found an email in my inbox. Atlantis Rising. Okay, no, we don't really. Actually, we don't want to go into this, but for a long time, pseudo archaeology was pushed to the fringe by archaeologists as something not worth their attention. But the fringe is where the ideas can fester and become dangerous. Okay, they started quoting the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is been, what's the word, like not debunked, but they've lost all their credibility. All right, in my opinion, pseudo archaeology comes in many shapes and forms, but relies on the same core argument. People of the past did not have the knowledge, technology, or capability to achieve all that they said to have accomplished, so someone or something else was involved. And see, and this is where she starts to um, really show, and she's gonna have to like show some receipts, and maybe she does. This is a quick article, so maybe in her like her larger research there is, but in this article it's clear to me that she has never watched the Ancient Alien program on TV and is really in touch with the ancient alien theory and the enthusiasts and the people who actually look into this, folks. Because if if she did, it would be clear that you know it's far from racism. Eric von um, Daniken is not a racist. He didn't come up with these theories because of racism. And we'll see here in the article, she mentions Egypt. She tries to mention that a lot of ancient alien theory is somehow pointed towards people of color, the Mayans, the Egyptians. These people were somehow unable to build these pyramids and do these things. But somehow the accomplishments of the Romans and the Greeks are not questioned as much. And it just is ridiculous. That's not true at all when you look at ancient alien theory, and at least in the ancient alien program there's episodes on every single civilization. Every single civilization is questioned by ancient alien theory and those who believe in it, including all the way up to uh, the founding fathers of America, because this is where this lady is. You'll see here. Let's get into it. This lady is going into, at some point, you can't not get into white supremacy. Okay, so it's white supremacist. It's white supremacy in terms of ancient alien theory, and all these buzzwords that I'm saying are probably going to get this uh, episode flagged and not really seen, which is fine. But um, let's have a look here and see that says these pseudo archaeologist arguments may seem to be simply fun to entertain, but they are invariably heavily biased against black people, indigenous people, and other people of color. The BIPOC, the BIPOC. Van Jones, uh, political analyst on CNN, made a big joke about this, and he's like, BIPOC, like these people create these intellectuals create these this way of talking that only they understand. And Van Jones was making a joke of that, and he's a big liberal and is part of this type of intersectionality. But again, BIPOC, who are doubted to have been responsible for their own histories. Archaeological sites from Africa, Asia, and the Americas are often put forth as proof of external interventions, while the achievements of those who lived in ancient Greece, Italy, for example, are rarely questioned. In other words, these arguments are often racist. And again, she needs to present to me who is making the arguments that the Greece and Italy, the Romans, the Greeks, they weren't somehow, they're not also. If you believe in ancient alien theory, for it's not a theory that's uh, exclusive to certain groups or people in on the planet. If you believe in ancient alien theory, it's for all and everybody, all humans on the planet. Ancient Aliens, the TV show, the program, has an entire episode about Leonardo da Vinci, quote unquote, European, highly accomplished. And the whole show was talking about perhaps he was an alien or was influenced by aliens. And yet, this lady would have you believe that ancient alien theory somehow never questions them. It's somehow racist towards people of color. And it's just not true. There's, again, other episodes on Ancient Aliens, the program, where they talk about um, Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, pretty much all the geniuses, saying were they influenced by ancient alien theory? These people are white men. The founding fathers, there's a whole episode about the founding fathers, all white men, how they perhaps were influenced by ancient aliens. And yet this woman is trying to turn it into a racial issue. Again, here we talk about now, oh, she's going to work in far right ideologies and white nationalism into ancient alien theory, folks. Okay, and she's going to use this, and this is true. And there's actually ancient alien theory episode here. It says white nationalists also encouraged enhanced protections and rights to defend what they see as the purity of the white race. A core belief of white nationalism is a conspiracy theory referred to as the Great Replacement. I mean, the fact that she's talking about the Great Replacement and white genocide in an ancient alien theory in the same article is a huge, huge reach. But I understand why she did it. In my opinion, this is all like red meat to the type of, like, this is what gets people interested in wanting to read something, uh, even though it's outlandish, in my opinion. I gotta answer this. Hello? What's up? So that's what sells. That's what's in vogue right now. And so I feel like she was, people who are writing articles, scholarly articles, they're like, they start with, okay, how can we turn this into a racism and throw in a whole bunch of intersectionality and then mention white nationalism? Jesus Christ. Hello? Again, I feel like the topic goes from there to then let's find something to write about. Let's turn something into that. We could just throw a dart at a bunch of words and boom, you throw it. It's ancient alien theory. Okay, how is that racist? And then you start from there. You throw something at it, it hits Pizza Hut. Okay, how's Pizza Hut race? And you can turn it in. You can turn them all into it. In my opinion, that's how that works out sometimes, folks. So we have. Let's look into this just a little bit more. I just can't. If you had never seen the shows, I just can't highlight the fact how it just completely debunks what this lady is saying the entire time about how it's racist. And it says here again, this whole thing. Pseudo archaeology contributes to the marginalization of BIPOC communities by denying their histories and instead reattributing them to mythical continents or even extraterrestrials. White nationalists use this denialism to rewrite, or rather rewrite, ooh, that's cool, history to bolster their own systems of power. And that's what I would be interested to know. And I'm going to send this to this lady. I hope she responds. Does she truly believe that a show like Ancient Aliens or the book Chariots of the God and Eric von Daniken, and I guarantee you, if you go to Alien Con and you look into all these things, you look around, you will see a huge, diverse group of people. And yet, somehow, what's her name? I don't want to be rude. Let's see what her name is again. Was it Steph? Somehow, somehow, Stephanie says this is all racist, and all these people are somehow inadvertently participating in racism. Me, as someone who I'm not white, I'm Hispanic. That's how I fill out all my stuff, right? I probably have some ancestry. I'm of Mexican American heritage. You know, some at some point some Spaniard had children with some mestizo or even an indigenous person there who may have been a Mayan and built temples and all this other stuff. So like somehow this is partially my history, and yet I'm a big enthusiast and I love Ancient Aliens. And did it ever cross my mind that never once did it ever cross my mind that this is racism, or it somehow marginalizes anybody and yet also then empowers some radical group. It just it just feels like a mountain out of a molehill, and taking something that is speculative and fun, and if you were to go to a diverse group and ask them and say, hey, do you think aliens may have helped build the pyramids or Stonehenge or all these other um, sites in antiquity? You can go to an Asian person, a white. What they're trying to say is that white people would be much quicker to be like, oh yeah, had to, because these people, they couldn't have done it themselves. I'm curious to see. I don't know. I didn't even read the whole article. Maybe there's some data in there, but it just seems to be very speculative and not. Where's the data, Stephanie, that people are racist because they think about ancient alien theory, and they have this theory or belief, to what's the word, to like core to to extrapolate, or no, to um because there are some white nationalists, and the Germans, the Nazis as well, and she probably puts it in there. They went in search for some lost history and land to create their own narrative and history and rewrite history, or like Stephanie says, rewrite history. Um, but because they did that as a way of, I guess, bringing some kind of uh, justification and culture to their own bizarre worldview, somehow now everybody else, me, Jamin, Mexican American from Texas, 50, 60 years later, 70 years later, somehow, because I think there's no way that uh, ancient man in history, and some of these monolithic um, rocks could not have been. They didn't move them themselves. I don't believe it. That's just my opinion. But somehow that's, is it racist? It doesn't matter who they were and where they were at. You know, when you talk about the Easter Islands and the Sentinels, you know, the big funny fake face people, you know, those are islanders. When it comes to uh, Stonehenge, which were done by, who knows, ancient Celtics or Britons or who knows, same thing. Those people, I think, were not people of color, and it still falls in within the ancient alien theory. So I feel like she's grabbing at straws. She's taking small examples and then equating, you know, throwing it on to everybody. Real big generalization. So I hope maybe she'll come on the podcast and talk about it because I'm interested. But until then, until next time, folks, stick with me, Jamin, your host, Jamin's Daily. We're gonna try to have a really busy July because June just took a lot of time off. Been real busy with work and with my family, and I don't know, guys. I just wasn't in the groove, but I'm getting in it. All right, I got a new little setup here, doing it at work, so I can just do one after work before I go home, and then I'm not tempted to just sit down and get lazy and whatever. You know how it is, folks. So stay tuned. We're gonna stick with some more ancient alien stuff because I have fun with that. It gives me something to do. Let me know if you like it. Send an email to jaminsdaily@gmail.com. Like and share. Please subscribe. When you share it on Facebook to somebody else or you share it on YouTube with someone else, it really helps on the algorithms and things like that, folks. So, till next time, stick with us because the best is yet to come.